Hello, everybody. My name is Harpreet, and I'm a kinesiologist here at the Center for Medical Excellence, Veterans and First Responders Health. And today's webinar, we're going to talk about cognitive processes across the stages of sleep. A little bit about me for those of you that haven't met me before. Like I said, I'm a kinesiologist here at the center, and I work with veterans and first responders to help incorporate movement into their life so that they can work towards being their healthier self. And I love team-based activities, enjoy delicious meals, preferably ones that others have cooked for me, reading an exciting book, or watching a fun show. I do recognize that movement looks different for many people. And so a part of my role is to make it so that it's feasible and customized to that individual, so that we can try to incorporate movement in order to also potentially help sleep. So for today, we're going to talk about three main things, starting with the difference between non-REM versus REM sleep. And for those of you that know what REM is, great. For those of you that don't know what REM stands for, I encourage you to just maybe think about that for a couple seconds for what it could be. And if you don't know, that's okay. We're going to talk a lot more about that today. We're also going to talk about the stages of sleep and cognition. And then finally, to wrap up, the support that we can offer here at the center to help improve your quality of sleep. So starting with a fun fact, did you know that sleep accounts for a third of the human lifespan? So humans dedicate a lot of time for sleep, and seeing how veterans and first responders struggle with it, we at the center want to educate and provide as much support as we can in this field. And hopefully with the education provided here, we may be able to, or you may be able to figure out maybe at which stage you're struggling with sleep. And then that can also be a stepping stone in improving your quality of sleep. And I also wanted to share some of client experiences that kind of elaborate a little bit more on what the struggles may be for first responders or veterans when it comes to sleep. So starting with, due to shift work, many first responders struggle to establish a consistent sleep schedule, making it difficult to get adequate rest. So for example, some first responders do a 4-on, 4-off shift. And so the swing shift in between can be very difficult when it comes to getting restful sleep at night or day. And then there's certain first responders that do 24-hour shifts throughout the month. And so that is also difficult to create a consistent schedule, especially when there's a few 24-hour shifts throughout the month. And so all of that can make it inconsistent to get good quality of sleep. And many veterans and first responders with PTSD report experiencing sleep difficulties, including trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or achieving restful sleep. So, for example, if there's a veteran or a first responder that has difficulty falling asleep, it could be due to they're still being hypervigilant or hyper alert. And so they're unable to calm down the racing thoughts, or they're hearing everything around them, and that's difficult for them to relax and then calm down so that they can start falling asleep. Staying asleep, some issues could be that there are veterans and first responders that get very disruptive sleep throughout the night due to nightmares, insomnia, waking up frequently throughout the night, just maybe because of the noises that they've heard, and they're easily woken up. Or they're woken up because they've slept the 2-3 hours that they typically sleep, and then their body says, we're done for the night, let's get up and keep going. Other veterans and first responders have shared chronic pain makes it difficult for them to get restful night of sleep. So maybe rolling in bed could be something that aggravates pain throughout the body. And then of course, there's many other reasons as well. So just taking a moment to acknowledge that we do understand that there are many variables that come into play that could influence the consistent sleep schedule, or at least getting good quality of sleep challenging. So lack of sleep can significantly impact our cognitive functions. So let's see how. Starting with the stages of sleep. So there are two types of sleep: REM, which stands for rapid eye movement. So if you knew what that was, excellent. And if you did it, now you know. And there's non-REM. 3 of the 4 stages are non-REM sleep. And the last one, stage 4, is rapid eye movement stage. Starting with stage 1, which is non-REM, and it's also considered light sleep. It comes between being awake and falling asleep. And your brain starts to slow down, as does your heartbeat, eye movements, and breathing rate. and your body begins to relax. So you may experience some muscle twitches, which is your body way of determining if you're falling asleep or still awake. And sometimes, even in stage 1 alone, many veterans and first responders may struggle with this. So this kind of goes back to what I said earlier, where they're still hyper alert, hyper vigilant. Chronic pain makes it difficult for them to relax. Sometimes, as a kinesiologist, I've heard many people share how when they get into bed and their body starts to relax, they start to notice more of their pain. And so that can make falling asleep a challenge. Or there are veterans and first responders that are unable to control their, racing thoughts or slow down their racing thoughts, which can also make it difficult. And then the second stage of sleep is also non-REM, still considered light sleep. And we spend half our total sleep time here. And it lasts for about 20 minutes per cycle, and your body changes. So your heart rate and breathing rate continues to decrease. We become less aware of our surroundings. Your body temperature also will continue to decrease, and your eye movement stops. A quick tip to perhaps improve your sleep is if you sleep in a warmer room, reducing the temperature. We humans tend to sleep better when it's a cooler environment versus hot. And I know with summer right now, that can be a bit of a challenge for many people if you don't have like an air conditioner or a cooling system. And so if there's a way to cool down your room, that may potentially improve your sleep. And from a cognitive perspective, during stage 2, our memory actually begins to consolidate. So our brain begins to produce rapid rhythmic brainwave activity known as sleep spindles, and your brain starts to gather, process, and filter new memories that you've acquired throughout the day. So if you were at a training session or you learned new information, our brain during the stage starts to process what you've learned so that you can retain it and have it for the next day. Any new appointments that you've booked perhaps, or any other new facts that you've learned. And stages 1 and 2, like I said, are considered light sleep stages. And just a reminder that your heart rate, breathing are decreasing, body temperature is also decreasing, and waking up or being woken in these stages is much easier. So if you are a light sleeper and you wake easily throughout the night, it's possible that you remain in stages 1 and 2, and you haven't really progressed into stages 3 and 4. So for stage 3, it's also a non-REM sleep or type of sleep. However, this is now considered a deep sleep stage. So it's no longer light. It's much more difficult for environmental noises and stimulation to cause waking. Your blood pressure, heart rate, breathing rate, and muscle tone continue to decrease. And your brain starts creating these delta waves, which we can see on an EEG. And this is where your memory continues to be processed. And this is that deep, rejuvenating sleep that we need. So reflecting back to stages 1 and 2, if you are a light sleeper and you're easily woken up or easy to wake up, it's likely that you aren't getting into the stage 3 of sleep. And therefore, when you wake up, it's possible that, if you wake up groggy or you feel even more tired than when you went to sleep, or just feeling very unrested, it's possible that you're not getting into stage 3 and therefore not getting that deep, rejuvenating, and restorative sleep that you need. Of course, there are other variables that could come into play, such as sleep apnea. However, this could be a starting point to reflect on that perhaps you're not getting into the good quality of sleep, and then looking into why that may be. If you're curious about sleep apnea, we do have an entire webinar dedicated to sleep apnea that I encourage you all to look at and watch. We have them on our YouTube channel. So during stage 3, non-REM sleep, your brain consolidates declarative memory. So this is new facts, events that happen during the day, and then any new memories that you've formed throughout the day. And then if you're not getting enough stage 3 REM sleep, you'll probably have trouble remembering new events or things you've recently learned, such as, appointments, important information from the day prior, whether that's training or work information, or just like personal day-to-day information that you've learned. Stage 4, now we've entered the REM sleep type. So this occurs every 90 to 120 minutes. And the first REM cycle should be after about 60 to 90 minutes of falling asleep. And REM duration is about 10 minutes. However, every REM cycle, we spend more and more time there. So for most of your REM sleep will actually occur during the second half of the night compared to the first half. During stage 4 REM sleep, your eyes move rapidly behind your eyelids. Your breathing actually increases, so your breathing rate increases, and your body becomes temporarily paralyzed as we dream. So for example, if we compare it to individuals, individual A gets 4 hours of sleep, individual B gets 8 hours of sleep, individual B gets a lot more REM sleep than individual A. So why is that important? Why is REM sleep important? It's because physical repair of body occurs during stage 4 REM sleep, and your immune response and system gets initiated during stage 4. So people, someone who gets better quality of sleep and more than, for example, the 4 hours that I was talking about, they're more likely to give that extra time that your body needs to restore bodily functions. So if you've been hurt or you've sprained or strained your body throughout the day, your body goes in and tries to restore as much as possible and improve your cognitive functions, repair any issues that have gone throughout your body, fight any infections or bacteria. Super important. And so with REM sleep, it's also processing emotions. So I'm sure many have heard that you'll feel better after you get some sleep. And there's a reason why the saying is a saying, is because REM sleep is associated with decreased amygdala activity, which is responsible for anxiety, stress, and fear in our brain. And decreased adrenaline during REM causes a decrease in emotional intensity of events as we reprocess them. So if we've experienced an intense event the day prior, and when we go to sleep and we process them, because of the reduced adrenaline during the REM sleep, we lower the intensity of the event. And so when we recall them the next day, they're not as intense as perhaps in that moment. And so this is another reason why when we process information, it alters it a little bit and makes it easier for the next day. So that was a lot of information. So we're going to summarize it and keep it nice and short. Stage 1, it's about 1 to 7 minutes long, and it's that transitions the body from wakefulness to sleep. Stage 2 is 10 to 25 minutes long, and it's important for new memory consolidation. Stage 3, it's also non-REM. This is now deep sleep, and it's about 20 to 40 minutes long. And physical repair, work on the body here, and then consolidation of new facts and memories and skills occurs here. And during stage 4, it occurs after about 90 minutes of falling asleep, and we enter REM for about 10 minutes, and then that time that we spend in REM increases throughout the night. And this is immunity, memory processing, and emotional processing occurs here. So sleep helps declutter our brain, improve our cognitive functions for the next day, and it restores our body. So it's very important, and I'm sure many of you can understand why it's important. If you face struggles with your sleep, we're able to provide some support. And so there's 3 particular programs that we have at the center. We have the Brain Fog program. The Brain Fog program is for individuals that, 1, are curious about brain fog, and 2, it's also if perhaps you're feeling that your brain feels hazy or unclear, lots of forgetfulness, and experiencing forgetfulness in addition to not quite feeling present with your thoughts. And so with the program is designed to, 1, educate on what brain fog is, but we also provide practitioner support from a lifestyle medicine perspective. So that includes sleep, nutrition, and fitness, movement. We have another program, Attention and Cognitive Enhancement for ADHD, for individuals that think they have ADHD or have been diagnosed for ADHD. And so we provide sleep education and support through this program as well, in addition to other lifestyle medicine habits. And we have Attention and Cognitive Enhancement for PTSD. For those of you that have been diagnosed with PTSD or think that you might have PTSD, we offer sleep support through this program as well. And of course, we have our counseling available at the center for those of you that are interested or need some counseling support as well. Thank you so much for your time. I encourage you all to check out our website for more information on our services and programs that we offer. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or give the center a call, and then I will contact you back as soon as I can. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day.